What is going on, grinders? Take your pick 'em back yet again. It's Friday, May 5th, 2023, Cinco de Mayo. Shout out to all of my Hispanic friends and listeners, supporters. We thank you. Should be a good day in the streets on the pick 'em sites. Once again, you know how we're going to do it. We're going to kick this thing off with winning words of wisdom. And we're going with probably one of the most basic quotes that we've heard. It's Friday. It's almost the weekend. I don't want to give you a soliloquy on this one. I don't want to get too philosophical, but winning words of wisdom for today. A winner never quits, and a quitter never wins. Say it for the people in the back. You've heard that one before. It's so true. If you're going to have a winning mentality, you have to keep pushing, keep sticking to the process, keep fighting through adversity. I think a lot of times, a lot of us, we've seen the picture where this guy's digging a tunnel, and he's trying to get to the diamonds, and he's got a little bit more to go, and he just says, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with this thing. And the diamonds are right on the other side. Well, guess what, folks? The wins are always going to come. You're always one day away, one play away from your next win. And so I just want to encourage you guys to keep rolling, keep sticking to the process if this is something that you enjoy like me. Okay, let's kick it off. We're going to start with our recap from yesterday. And so on the month so far, we're 8-6. We've got 8 plays right, 6 plays wrong. And in terms of yesterday, we got 3 plays right, 2 plays wrong. We had a repeat guy, Wander Franco. We took him over fantasy points, or more than the projection at fantasy points. That was an L. He just didn't get going yesterday. Dansby Swanson facing the gas can himself, Patrick Corbin. Patrick Corbin was in Cy Young form yesterday, and none of the Cubs really got there. Dansby Swanson absolutely did not get there, so we took an L on that one. Now on to the wins. We had Jorge Mateo over 1.5 or more than 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Had a great day at the plate, did his job. I think he finished with 4 hits, runs, and RBIs, a combination thereof. And then we got these 2 plays from the sheet from the illustrious Chris Tremino with the fantasy pick'em sheet. We took under fantasy points for Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Figured that the Golden State Warriors were going to have a nice game, go ahead and take care of business on their home court, which is what we talked about yesterday. And both of those plays came through. So all in all, not a profitable day. But what I will say, I think a good strategy from this show is I'm not going to have 4 or 5 plays every day. Some days I may have 2. Some days I may have 6. Some days I may have 3. You can mix and match these plays around some of your favorites and hopefully come out ahead in the end. So appreciate you guys for joining in. And let's hop in. Let's talk about one of my favorite plays on the day. And it's going to be another bat. We've got another gas can. I am not afraid to attack these hittable pitchers. Now, this isn't the play of the day, but this is a favorite of mine, and that's going to be Bo Bichette. And across the industry, he should be around 1.5 total bases. I like that prop. On PrizePicks, they have a fantasy point projection of 8 fantasy points, and we want to go more than those 8 fantasy points. Love Bo Bichette today. Love Toronto as a whole, but Bo Bichette, and you know what time it is. It's time for screen sharing. Once again, if you're listening in your cars, or if you're at the gym and you're listening, I will give out the data so you don't have to go back and look it up. But I always encourage you, please look it up for yourself. But Rich Hill sitting here today, 19.4% K rate, 4.77 xFIP. Rich Hill's not good, folks. Doesn't throw a pitch. Barely throws any pitches over 88 miles an hour. And Bo Bichette against lefties, this is this season for 2023, 3% K rate. I thought I had a little whiplash when I looked at this earlier. I thought I was seeing things. No, folks, we're not seeing things. Bo Bichette, 3% K rate, 399 WOBA, 250 ISO. And what we're going to see here from Mr. Rich Hill, he's throwing that curveball and it's not striking anybody out. We're going to get the curveball 42.86% of the time, so around 43%. And when we look at Bo Bichette on the curveball, folks, listen to these numbers. 87% contact rate, 12% whiff rate, 52% hard hit rate, 250 ISO, 392 BOBA. I know it didn't work out yesterday with all of the bats, but Bo Bichette is one of my favorite bats on the slate today, and especially on the fantasy pick'em sites. If you can get him over 1.5 total bases, I love that prop. If you can get him over fantasy points on PrizePicks, I believe he was at 8. Let's check that and make sure. I'm pretty sure it's 8. Yes, 8 fantasy points. I like the over there. He should have a chance to get on base, possibly steal a base, should be able to come home. I know Vlad doesn't have the ISO numbers against lefties this year, but I think he can still drive home some runs. And if Vlad doesn't, we've got Mr. Matt Chapman bringing up the rear in the cleanup spot. So either way, I think this is a fantastic situation for Bo Bichette today to really get on the board and have a nice fantasy performance. I know this is a pick'em show, but if you can get Bichette in DFS, FanDuel, or DraftKings, I think he's a great investment across all platforms today, not just the pick'em sites. So moving right along, I'm going to move quickly. I have 6 plays today, so you'll be able to put together a pretty good card across the industry if you can. And this one is the same across the whole industry. We've got Zach Wheeler, and he's sitting at 6.5 strikeouts. Folks, I'm actually going to go under. He will have some strikeouts at the bottom of this order. Don't get me wrong. He's sitting at a 30% K rate on it, well, 29.3 to be exact, on the season. And we've seen him dial up the strikeouts recently. So we have seen him, pitch much better and really dial him up recently. Like I think in his previous game against Houston, who strikes out a ton this season, he got 7. Against the Colorado Rockies, no surprise there, he got 11, right? Here's the thing. Boston will make it tough on teams at the top of this order, and he's not going to strike all of these guys out at the bottom. So when I'm looking over things, I think 6.5. I think the under is a wise investment. Verdugo at 11%, Yoshida at 7.1, Turner at 9.1, Devers at 15. Now he's probably going to get Duran once, maybe gets Casas once, Valdez at 17, Kike and McGuire. I don't think he's going to strike out all of these guys once, and so for that reason, I think this is a good under for us today. Zach Wheeler 6.5. I think we definitely take the under there. Moving right along. Next up on the list, folks, and this is a good one. This is one I really like today. We've got Jordan Montgomery. This didn't work out with Luke Casey, but he's at 5.5 strikeouts. We're going to go more than that projection. We should see 5.5 across the industry, okay? Across the industry, we should see that at 5.5. I like taking more than that projection. When we look at the Detroit Tigers, sometimes remember you got to stick to your guns, folks. It may not work out in the first time around, but the principles are the same. Jordan Montgomery, 4.09 xFIP, 21% K rate, not walking a lot of guys. We know, but once again, folks, the Detroit lineup, putrid, strikeouts galore, and we believe that Montgomery has a longer leash in St. Louis than he did when he was with the Yankees, and so I believe Jordan Montgomery is going to go well over 90 pitches. I think the strikeouts are there. What I'm hoping is just don't get behind. What we need from Jordan Montgomery is 1 strikeout per inning. Let him cruise to 6. If he gets 2, we'll lift up our hands and be very thankful. 1 strikeout per inning is what I'm looking for from Jordan Montgomery, and I think we can get that. Look at these K numbers. I'm going to give them out again. Veerling's at 21.4, Bahavi 26. Green 31, Haas 31, Torkelson's at 60.7, Scope 31, Miggy Cabrera, who was sick, perhaps he'll be back. I sure hope so. He's got a 35% K rate. Ibanez 33%, and then we've got Zach Short sitting at 0% in 5 plate appearances. Ibanez only has 3. But all in all, the general consensus here is that this team is striking out a ton. The cool thing about Montgomery is he's actually striking righties out at a higher clip than lefties so far this season. 22% K rate to righties, only 17% to lefties. And he will only see probably Riley Green if this projected lineup holds true. So really like him. I think this is a good situation for us to attack the over at 5.5 strikeouts, more than 5.5 strikeouts around the industry. Now on this one, I didn't see this one on Underdog. Yeah, they don't have it on Underdog as of yet. They do have it on PrizePicks. And this is Christian Javier. I think a lot of people are going to be in on his strikeout prop today. He's at 6.5. We know the struggles that the Seattle Mariners have had against right-handed pitching this season. So I think a lot of people are going to end up on the strikeouts. I've got an alternate prop here. We've got pitching outs at 17.5. I think he can get 6 innings today. When I'm looking at what this team is doing against right-handed pitching, there's only a handful of guys that have a really nice ISO here, and Jared Kalenic, Cal Raleigh, and Mr. Trammell. Trammell's got 857 ISO and limited plate appearances. Cal Raleigh, 241, and Kalenic at 286. But outside of that, not a whole lot of power. And the K rates, guys, they're all high. 24% Rodriguez, 32% Kalenic, Suarez 28, Cal Raleigh 29, Teoscar Hernandez 34, Trammell 33. And then, of course, they've got Wong at the bottom, Crawford at 17 and 18. I think the strikeouts are there. I think Javier will have the stuff. He should be able to pitch around this team and get through innings quickly. I just hope he doesn't give up too many hits early. But I think he's going to be fine. Really like Javier. He probably will give up a home run. Not going to say he won't because he does have some fly ball issues with the 49% fly ball rate. And there's enough power on this team. But I don't think they gash him. If he gives up runs, I think it's mostly solo shots. That's my opinion. But all in all, I think at 17.5 pitching outs, I think Christian Javier, I think we take more than that projection at 17.5. I definitely think he can get 6 and get through this inning quickly. And in this game, it should be a slight pitcher's duel. We do have Castillo on the other side. I won't talk about Castillo today in depth, but what I will say is look at these numbers from the Houston Astros. I definitely think Castillo has a shot at picking up some Ks as well. He's not on our list today, but I definitely like this game as a pitcher's duel. I love to see both of these pitchers go 7 innings and just keep going deep, and let's see how far they can go. Love that one as well. So here's another one on the list. I've got Max Fried, and I think a lot of people will like his strikeout prop today at 5.5, and I think I'm not going to give out all the information from the bat. I think the bat had Max Fried projected over 6 strikeouts today, like 6.27 or 6.5, something like that. I can't remember exactly from when I looked at it this morning. But what I want to look at, I think I'm going to take – we have a walks prop of 1.5 as a projection on PrizePicks. I like less than that projection. I think Max Fried historically is not a guy that's going to walk a lot of bats anyway. And so when I look at what we have here, he's 24% K rate, only a 5.4% walk rate. I think the most he's walked all season is 2 in a game. I don't think we're going to see him walk too many guys here. He's got Adley Rutschman that has a 17.9% K rate. Adley's a switch hitter, but he's really not walking righties, right? So we look at the righties, it's 3.8%. Who he's walking is the lefties, and he'll only see 2 of those. And so I'm not expecting him to walk Gunnar Henderson, who, even though Gunnar Henderson has a 25% walk rate, he's got a 25% K rate as well. So I really like Max Fried, considering he's only going to see 2 lefties, and that's where he leans a little bit higher, only about 3% to righties. At 1.5 walks, I like the under there. Max Fried is a guy that typically has really good control. And so at once again, 1.5 walks is a projection on PrizePicks. I like less there. Okay, last but not least, we're going to head to the Boston game. And Boston's taking on Philly. We've got Chris Sale at Philly, and we've already looked at Wheeler. I like Chris Sale. He's at a strikeout prop of 6 strikeouts across the industry, and that's because the sports books obviously are leaning towards the over there, and so the prop sites, the pick'em sites, are going to adjust, and they've bumped him up. So we've got 6 at a push. I still think he can get 7 strikeouts here. What I like about it is there are strikeouts to be had in this lineup. And so what we're hoping is Chris Sale doesn't give up too many runs early. And I think he'll give up a run or 2, but I think it's a good spot for him. 35% K rate for Schwarber, 66% for Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper's just coming back. So, he's just got to tune up and get ready. Castellanos 23, Real Muto 22, and then we've got Marsh at 41 and Sosa at 22. Those are the big K rate guys, and so I definitely think Sale can get there. I do think for some of these pitchers, like Sale today, where we have an opportunity for a push, and this is something I like to do. When I've got an opportunity for a push, I start looking for MLB live opportunities on the PrizePicks board. So even though we've got him at 6, and I do like 6, they don't have the strikeout offerings up as of yet, but this is the spot that I'm going to attack for MLB Live if we can get it at the right number. What I'm hoping they do, I don't think they're going to give it to us this way today. I'd love to get 2.5, a projection of 2.5 strikeouts for the first 3 innings. I don't think they're going to do that. I think Sale probably ends up at 3.5 for the first 3 innings, and I might consider that because sometimes I like to avoid the push. So if any opportunity I can take to avoid the push, I like to take that. And so just kind of be on the lookout for that. And if you're in the prop shop, I'll absolutely be posting some extra cards. So if you followed the show today, you've got enough picks here from the sites to put together a quality card. And let's see if we can ride this thing to the money. So a quick recap here in terms of the full slate. We've got Bo Bichette, who's my favorite bat on the day. Across the industry, should be around 1.5 total bases. I like more than that projection. On PrizePicks, we've got a fantasy score projection of 8. I like more than that as well. Zach Wheeler at 6.5 strikeouts. We like less than that projection. Chris Sale, we've got him at 6 strikeouts flat. I like more than that projection. Jordan Montgomery at 5.5 strikeouts, more than that projection. Max Fried, 1.5 walks, less than that projection. And Christian Javier, 17.5 pitching outs. We like more than that projection. Folks, thanks again. We're closing the week out. Let's close it out strong. Let's get the sweep going today. I'm Chief Justice 06. You've been tuned in to the Take Your Pick'em podcast. Come in with your pockets empty. Leave with your pockets full. We'll see you back here next week.